is what Prime Minister Modi said just weeks after the brutal terror strike that targeted Hindu tourists in Kashmir's Pahalgam meadows. Days after India retaliated against Pakistan in the optically named Operation Sindoor, the phrases new normal, talks and terror can't go together, and water and blood cannot flow together at the same time were tossed around, cheered by adoring supporters of the Modi government. However, less than 6 months after these horrific terror attacks, the Asia Cup was scheduled in the UAE and the marquee clash, India versus Pakistan, in Dubai. No sooner was the program and the times were released, a massive protest erupted online. The boycott calls were deafening. Boycott Pakistan hashtag trends, widows of victims pleading for the BCCI to pull out, and the politicians weighing in. But the BCCI said no boycott whatsoever. Why not? The first excuse, this is not a bilateral tournament. With many other countries, organized by the Asian Cricket Council, and then the reasons which were being offered got even more ridiculous by the day. BCCI Vice President, the omnipresent Rajiv Shukla says a boycott will lead to, listen to this, sanctions against India by the ICC. Perhaps Shukla ji needs to be told that the ICC boss is none other than Jai Shah, the son of Home Minister Amit Shah. Shukla's ludicrous explanations extended to India's bid for Olympics and how those chances could end up being hit should India choose not to play Pakistan in this Asia Cup. But let's face it, it all boils down to money, folks. No other way to look at it. Profit beats patriotism on any day. An India-Pakistan game rakes in millions in broadcast rights and tickets. Even with empty seats this time, thanks to the backlash, it still remains a cash cow. Union Minister Manohar Lal Khattar put it rather plainly. Sports and security are separate. Boycotting would violate international norms. Just let me give you an idea of the kind of money which is involved here. Mind you, this only India versus Pakistan. I'm not talking about the other matches. I'm not even getting into the rest of the games which will be played by India itself against other countries. First, let's take the 2023 Asia Cup tournament. Like always, the big game is India versus Pakistan, rest being a sideshow. Just the broadcasting rights in 2023 was sold for an estimated $100 million. That's 880 crores today. Add to this ticket sales, advertising, and you would have doubled the figure. 1,500 crore rupees from a single match. But hold on, there is more. Star India is reported to have paid a massive $3 billion for coverage of India-Pakistan matches in the ICC T20 tournaments between 2023 and 27. A FICCI estimate says that just India-Pakistan matches have generated revenues of more than $1.3 billion in the last 20 years. It's all about the money, honey, make no mistake about it. National security and patriotism can all hang their heads in shame when it comes to this. And yet, there is still hypocrisy despite all these numbers that we've spoken about. Hypocrisy will find its supporters no matter where you go. In the last 24 hours, I've been told all kinds of things. There is a policy of not playing in bilateral tournaments, some have argued, but multilaterals we've always played. If we start boycotting all multilateral tournaments where Pakistan features, then we will not play against them, say, even in Olympics. What will do to our chances then? And somebody even points out, what if the chess grandmaster, Mukesh, if he has to play a final against a Pakistani, should he end up forfeiting that match? Now, I'm not getting into how many grandmasters are there from Pakistan in the first place, but just look at the spate of arguments being made. To these supporters, I want to recall Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav's words in Parliament, no less, while banning real money games. He said, whenever a crisis comes between social responsibilities and financial gains, the Indian government will always opt for the former. By that standard, my argument is, the shocking horror of Pahalgam, doesn't it fail victims twice? Once to the bullets of brutes, and then to the callous approach of this government. No wonder there has been so much of anger from BJP supporters to BJP opponents. And it's not as if India has not taken such a stand in the past. Let's rewind and take a look at that piece of the story of India taking a principled and tough stand against sporting ties with Pakistan. The India-Pakistan sports story kicked off post-partition in 1947. But politics ended up crashing that party early on itself, from 1962 to 1977, for 15 years there were no cricket matches. Reason, the 65 and 71 wars. India saw Pakistan as the aggressor. Playing them felt like rewarding invasion which was being indulged in by the aggressor. In 1984, a test match in Pakistan gets canned after Indira Gandhi's assassination. Security agencies feared that the Pakistani teams could end up being targeted because of what had happened. It was a one-off, but it did set a precedent of sorts. In 1999, it was clear who the aggressor was. Cricketing ties were frozen stiffer than the Siachen Glacier at that time. India hosted the 1999 World Cup and Pakistan was there. Multilateral rules forced it, but one-on-one games were wiped out till 2004. The reason was clear to all. No normalizing ties with an enemy state sponsoring terrorism, sponsoring infiltration. The next one was really big. The Mumbai terror strikes in 2008. All cricket ties then were scrapped. No tours to Pakistan, no home series. And it was not just cricket, it was a full sporting freeze that we were talking about. Pakistanis pleaded for neutrality on the field, but India digged in. Terrorism has no jersey. That was the phraseology, that was the sentiment which was looked at. 2019 only ends up amping it up. Pulwama attack, a suicide bomber killing 40 Indian paramilitary jawans. Pakistan-based Jaish claims India retaliates with Balakot strikes. Cricket, hockey, kabaddi, wrestling, all halted. The BCCI pushed to boycott the World Cup game in Manchester, but the government said no. Since then, policies are ironclad. No bilaterals, only multilaterals must place. Hockey too has been a center of India-Pakistan rivalry. But again, India has been firm there as well. After Pulwama, India boycotted the FIH hockey series in Pakistan. In 2025, it was India's turn to host. This time Pakistan withdrew, citing safety. India made no concessions. Host nation, host rules, and the reason was the same. Cross-border terror taints the turf. You cannot have blood and sport going on together till the cows come home. The point is simple, folks. India could have and should have boycotted this Pakistani game. It's not good enough to say, look, we beat them. Let's face it, India has been the better team now, honestly, for years. It is also not good enough to quote random things like sanctions will be there from ICC. India has been ruling the game of cricket on and off the field for a good 30 years now. The anger against the BCCI, the ICC, and the government is justified. Because right now, it looks to me that we're being asked to forget the horror of Baisaran and Pahalgam because of ICC imposed sanctions. And the cold-blooded public murder of innocent Indians, which no patriotic Indian must do. Because right now, it looks to me that we're being asked to forget the horrors of Baisaran. We're being asked to forget what had happened in Pahalgam, just because Shuklaji wants us to believe that there were some ICC imposed sanctions which were on the anvil, just because we would have ended up maybe losing 2 points in an Asia Cup. To all these great cricketing minds of Indian cricketing establishment, I only have one thing to say. If it means, and if it meant that we should have forfeited the match, we should have let these 2 points be, so be it. I for one did watch the match. And I watched the match because I wanted to see how people were responding to this entire anger which was boiling online. And it disappoints me to say this, that this was a match, firstly, which is a pathetic cricket match because the Pakistani team was so bad. And secondly, this was a match which we could have certainly lived without. It's not as if that we were confronted against England, Australia, West Indies or some big teams. Pakistan today, to me, is at the same level where a Nepal or UAE or Hong Kong is. And we're not going to carry some big trophy home just because we end up beating Minaus like Bangladesh or now even Pakistan, which is pretty much in the category of all these Minaus. So think about it, folks. Why was this match allowed? We may have enjoyed the cricket from an Indian standpoint. The fans would have gotten a good evening in the stadium. But at the end of the day, the optics, the reasoning which was offered by the Indian Cricket Administration leaves a lot to be desired. Do let us know what you thought about this story, what you thought about this video, and you can leave your comments.
I stand on the line where the mountains bleed red, guarding the soil where my brothers have bled. Pahalgam's echoes still ring in my ears. 26 souls lost, drowned in their fears. While I face the fire, the bullets, the night, you chase a white ball under stadium light. BCCI's greed, government's not so sly, play with the foe who lets innocents die. I have seen the smoke rise from terror's cruel hand, Pakistan's shadow fueling this hand. Take two. Pakistan's shadow fueling this band. Yet you shake hands, share the pitch and the cheer, while I bury comrades year after year. Remember apartheid? South Africa banned for injustice's stain on a nation's hand. But terror's no crime, is it? Just a game to ignore? While I hold the fort, you open the door. My uniform's honor stained with their lies. Pahalgam still cries under blood-red skies. Boycott this farce. Let the world see our might. For the fallen, the brave, in eternal fight. I am the soldier, the shield in the storm. Don't sell my sacrifice for a uniform. No runs, no wickets till justice is done for India's pride under the gun.